All right, last week, big week here. We got our first win against Miles College. We said the whole time that we expected to win the football game, that we had a few more bullets than they did, but then, those guys competed. They got a good football team. They was in the playoffs last year, and, they came out ready to play. They got a good team, and they showed that, and they fought us for 60 minutes. We got a little bit of a lead there in the fourth quarter, and then they responded and came back and scored late. Which we didn't like to see. We didn't want to give up any more points, but they did and made the game a lot closer than it was, even though it was, I think, 21-21 going into the fourth. And we kind of separated a little bit, and then we let them score again. So we got to do a better job of finishing. We finished pretty strong offensively. They did hold us to that last field goal when we needed to get a touchdown there. So we got to do a better job of finishing and get that last touchdown and then really close the game out. And then we got to do a better job on defense in that prevent situation where they're trying to score in a hurry. But overall, we got the W. That's what we was after, was the W, and that's the most important thing. Whether you win by 1 or you win by 30, as long as you get that W, that's what it was all about Saturday.
Coach, what do you know about South Carolina State? Give me a brief scouting report on those guys.
Well coached. Coach Buddy Pugh's been there, I think, 11 years, and running the same system. So those guys are going to be ready to play. They know what it's about. I think they was picked to come in second in the MEAC this year. They played a tough schedule to get ready for the MEAC, and just as we did. So they're going to be hungry to get off to a good start in the MEAC, a 1-0 start, and so are we. So they're going to come down here Saturday ready to go. They're proven. They was in the playoffs last year and the year before, so they're a good football team, offensively and defensively. Offensively, they're playing their second-team quarterback now, I believe, but he's playing probably just as good, if not better, than the starter, and so that's why they're going to stick with him, Wiley. And, they want to run the ball. They want to run the ball, pound us, so we got to try to slow that running game down and kind of force them to throw the ball a little bit more than they really want to. Defensively, they solid up front. The front seven is very good, and the secondary, they play a lot of man, so they don't mind locking it up and getting after you, and they bring some pressure. They'll blitz probably about 30% of the time. About 1 out of every 3 plays or 4 plays, they'll be coming, so it's right around about 32% probably. So we got to be prepared for that and be able to pick up those blitzes and be ready to go on both sides of football and in special teams.
Did you get a more competitive effort from Miles than you anticipated? Was the game closer than you thought it would be?
I think so. I knew I was going in with my backup quarterback, so I expected him to make some mistakes for his first game, and I thought we would leave some points out on the field just because of that. Him playing in his first game, it was at home, a nice atmosphere. But I expected him to play well, but I also expected him to leave some points out on the field, and he did. And so he did exactly what I thought he would do. He played well, but we did leave some points out there because it was his first game, and he just missed some stuff because he wasn't in game action before. So, and then, like I said, they scored late to get a late touchdown to make it a little bit closer. But, I expected us to struggle a little bit, but I expected us to win the football game, and that's what we did. And I wanted to keep Jay out and have him ready to go for the conference. And I still wanted to get the win, and that's what I was able to do. I was able to keep Jay out without getting him another hit. So now if he do get hit, he'll be fine and to get the W. And so, work the game plan to perfection. We got the W. Jay didn't have to play, and that's all we was trying to do, really.
Yeah, you mentioned last week after the Richmond game, you said Jay would have been able to go back in, but you just didn't want him to take any more hits. But yet you held him out and you went with Brian in this game. Can you walk us through that kind of decision-making process with your quarterbacks?
Yeah, well, the trainers really wanted to pull him in the Richmond game, and but they said he could go. And so I was like, well, let's go ahead and go with Bailey, keep Jay out, because they was like one more hit, it could be severe. And, no telling when he'd be back. He could miss 3-4 games, one more big hit. So I decided to pull him in that game. And then this week, he didn't practice the first 2 days because of the trainers. And then the third day he got sick with a stomach virus, a bug, a 24-hour bug, and so then he wasn't able to practice Thursday either. So he didn't practice at all last week. So I was going to play Bailey anyway, start Bailey and play Bailey anyway, but it was a good chance I could play Jay. But once he didn't practice all week, I decided just not to go with him at all, let him sit the whole game and stick with Bailey because he got off to a pretty rough start. He didn't get off to a fast start, Bailey. And so normally I probably would have pulled him right there, but since I was trying not to play Jay and I knew he was going to struggle a little bit and get off to a rough start, but I knew he'd come around. I was trusting that he would be able to come around, and he did. So that was my thinking when process with those quarterbacks. I really didn't want to play Jay. Even though he was cleared, I just didn't want him to take another lick, a big lick, and possibly get another concussion and be out for 3 or 4 games heading into the conference.
Is Williamson full go this week? Is he your starter?
Oh yeah, he's the starter. He practiced yesterday, and he'll be practicing today. He's ready to go. And we got Bailey some game experience, and he proved that he can play quarterback and lead. As I said it from the get-go that I thought I had 2 quarterbacks that we can win with, and but I'm only going to play 1. So he proved that he can play and win games in this league and at this level. So we're satisfied with our quarterback play. Jay's playing tremendously. He's ranked up there in all the stats in the FCS, and Brian had a good game. So we're happy with the quarterback position. We just got to shore up some other spots and get everybody playing at the same level as those guys.
Coming out of the non-conference schedule and now with just conference games left, where do you think you guys are right now?
0-0. I think offensively, we're not where we want to be. We're not where we could be. I think we're right there, and we just got to continue to work and be more consistent and cut out the turnovers. We're still having too many turnovers each game, at least probably 2 in every game. So we need to get that down to 0, be a little bit more consistent, and cut down the penalties a little bit more, and we'll be fine. I think we can compete with anybody and move the ball and score points on anybody. Defensively, pretty much the same thing. We just got to be alignment and assignment. We got to get lined up in the right spot and know our assignments. And because when you go the wrong way, you're going to open up a big hole and they're going to gas you. Or if you blow a coverage, you're going to get beat for a big play. I think if we can just stay in the right coverages and alignment and assignment, do what you're supposed to do the little things, it'll make it a lot tougher on those guys. As you can see in spots, our defense plays good. And then in spots, they play bad. So and when they play good is when they're doing what they're supposed to do. When they play bad is when they're not. When they're not lining up right, they don't have the right assignment, they're blowing coverages. And so they understand that. They saw the film, and they understand when they do what they're supposed to do, we can stop people. And so that's what we got to do. We got to be able to get back to the fundamentals and get lined up and simplify the things so those guys could play fast and not have to think. And we'll be fine.
Do you think that that your non-conference schedule has prepared you guys pretty well for what you're going to see in the conference?
I think so. I think our non-conference schedule was very tough, especially the first 3 games. We're not going to play any teams better than those 3 teams in our conference. Not to disrespect anybody, take anything away from South Carolina State or Bethune-Cookman, but they've been in the playoffs and, they haven't been winning. Those teams have won in the playoffs. So, and they all ranked again. So, I'm not trying to disrespect any team in our conference, but, those are 3. If anybody else in our conference would play those 3 teams, they'd be 0-3 too. So, it is what it is. But I think that has helped us, playing tough competition is only going to make you stronger and better. So that's what we've done. You play cupcakes and you blow them out. Your starters play half the game. The other guys get to play. They all think they're good, and just because you can overpower somebody, you're not really focusing on the mistakes and the things that you should be when you play a inferior competition. So I think that's only going to help us for the conference.
And notice too that on the 2 deep that Mixon's not listed. Is he still on the mend?
Yeah, he is. He's out. He's just not back yet. His knee's not ready.
Is it a season-ending kind of?
Oh no, it's not a season. He'll probably be back for He'll probably be back either A&T or the week after. We're hoping for A&T, but if not, hopefully the week after. We got an open week after this, so get a lot of treatment and see if we can't work him back in slowly and see if he'll be ready to go for A&T. If not, hopefully the game after that. I don't even know who we play, but.
South Carolina State's also had problems with injuries at quarterback too. They just one against Furman this week with a backup as well. Any difficulty in not knowing exactly who they might be going with?
And I don't think so. I think they're gonna go with Wiley. I think his injury probably was pretty something small or just a couple plays or something like that because I listened to Buddy talk yesterday and he said that it was Wiley. He said he just thought that he was playing better, and the starter was kind of still banged up a little bit, and they didn't want to put him back out there before he was 100%, and Wiley was playing pretty good, so they was going to go with Wiley. So I think we know who they're going to play is Wiley.
Going back to the Miles game for a moment, the first drive of the game, you guys took the ball and went for it on 4th down in your own territory. Was that in an effort to try to establish yourselves against Miles right there? It seemed like you were taking a bit of a risk there, but your defense did respond, though, by not allowing any points in the comeback from that.
Right, that's what it was. I was trying to send a message to the team. Look, let's go. This is a D2 program. We're a D1 program. We got to step it up. Bow your necks back. Let's go get the first down. Fortunately, it didn't happen. But it was early in the football game. I felt that we could get it, and if we didn't, I felt we could stop them. And even if they did score, I felt that we can still come back and score some points. So, like I said, everything, all that stuff factored in when I go for it on 4th down. How we playing and how the competition is playing, how the defense is playing. If I think we could score on them and things of that nature. So, I didn't ever think about punting. I just get back and just call the play. So it is what it is. We have some more times we go for it on 4th down.
The team also, is there anything you've been able to put your finger on about the slow starts that the team has gotten off to? Because so far this season there have been no points scored in the 4th quarter or 1st quarter.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully we can get that change this week and get some points in the 1st quarter. Like I told the guys, we played 4 football games. This ain't the first game anymore. We got to come out and do a better job in the 1st quarter of executing and get some points on the board and everybody be ready to play from the opening snap. We're supposed to play 60 minutes, not 45. So we got to do a better job. We got to do a better job of that, and we need to get our crowd into it, get the defense pumped up, and let's play from ahead for a change, starting to come from behind.
At the end of the game, you also had a big field goal, put you in 2 possessions, and Adam Brown took it instead of Prevost. What was the decision there to go with a different kicker?
He was cramped up a little bit when he made that tackle on the kickoff return. He made the tackle, and he sprinted over there, and, he's an athlete, and, he was very aggressive, and he kind of just cramped up in his left foot, his plant foot. And so that's why Adam kicked off the next kickoff, and then the field goal, we went with Adam. Adam is a great kicker also. Prevost is All-American, but Adam Brown is just as good as he is. In practice, Brown hardly ever misses, and Prevost neither. So I got confidence in both of those guys. We had some coaches yelling, "Hey, Prevost." And so I called a timeout. I say, "Where Prevost?" He came limping over there. I said, "Get back." I said, "He's hurt. That's why he's out. He's hurt." I said, "We got Adam Brown. Adam Brown going to kick it through, give us a 2-possession game, no problem. So go on out there." I said, "Go on out there, protect. Adam, kick it through." He kicked it through. So, a couple people was panicking because Prevost wasn't in there. But, I got confidence in Adam Brown. I see him kick every day. He kicked just as good as Prevost. But, we can't have but one kicker. We're not going to alternate. You kick this extra point, you kick the next one, you kick this. No, we ain't going to do that. And so, again, it's another luxury, to have 2 great kickers.
1-3 obviously isn't where you guys want to be, but have you tried to sell the kids on, as you said earlier, 0-0, conference season, entirely new deal now?
Oh yeah, I've been telling our guys the whole time. If we was 4-0 right now, what would we have won? Would we won the MEAC? No. Would we be in the playoffs? No. Would we win the FCS championship? No. So what have we accomplished? Nothing. We just won 4 football games. So if we was 0-4 right now, what would we accomplish? Nothing. We just lost 4 football games. Our season starts when we can actually start doing something is this week. Because it's the first conference game. And we control our own destiny. We can still win the conference. We can still get in the playoffs. We can still win the national championship. We win out. We'll win our conference. We'll be in the playoffs with a chance to win a national championship. Those are our goals. So, we play them one game at a time. And this is the biggest game of the season. After this week, the next game will be the biggest game of the season. So, we haven't accomplished anything. I used to tell my teams at Winston-Salem when we was 8-0, we still haven't accomplished anything because we lose those last 2 conference games, we don't win the conference, we don't play for the championship, and we don't get in the playoffs because, they didn't give us the respect that we deserve. So if you lost 2 games, you went in 8-2, you weren't gonna make it. I went 8-2 my first year, didn't make the playoffs, and started off 6-0. So, 7-0, 8-0 don't mean anything. You still haven't accomplished anything. You got to keep playing. You got to keep playing. The next game is the biggest game. So, we got to teach these guys that. And once we continue to start winning, we got to teach them how to act now that you're starting to win. Because now everybody's going to start patting you on your back, telling you how good you are, how good you played last week. And we can't worry about that. We got to get better. We got to focus on the mistakes that we made, clean those up, and keep doing the little things that we was doing to get us to where we are right now or where we will be.
So what are the biggest areas of improvement that you have seen over the first month?
I don't know, Dave. I think that we've improved in every area, but I don't think it's been major improvements. And one of the reasons is because the competition has been so tough, it's hard to improve on the passing game when you throw for 407 yards the first game. Third down conversions are being good. We haven't improved on our turnovers. We still turn the ball over the same rate. We got a lot of work to do. We just kind of staying right there. And hopefully now that we're getting into conference play, the competition is not as stiff. Now hopefully we can start seeing a lot of improvement in all the areas, in the kicking game, defense, pass, the running game, the offense, the running game. Offensively, the turnovers go down and score more points. Those are the things we're looking for, and it's just the fundamentals and the little things, and just keep, defense. We need 11 people at the ball, fly around, and not just one person. If one person misses, then 2 other people need to make the tackle, or if 2 people holding up, the third guy rip for the ball. So just little things like that we got to start doing and need to do a better job of.
You talked about South Carolina State wanting to run the ball, and that's what they're going to do probably a lot, especially playing a backup quarterback a little more. Are there any advantages or disadvantages to you guys kind of playing a base 3-4 as opposed to a 4-3 when the other guys are want to run the ball and kind of want to pound it at you?
Well, South Carolina State play a 3-4 too. So it is what it is. If you got that 4-3. The thing about it, 3-4 is you got all these linebackers that's supposed to be coming from everywhere. You don't know where they're coming from, and cause confusion on your blocking schemes and your passing schemes. So we just got to do a better job of doing that and getting penetration, getting our front 3 to tie up some guys and free up the linebackers. And not let those other 2 linemen get off on the linebackers so fast, So it's a team effort, and it all starts up front. So we got to do a better job up front of getting a little bit more penetration and causing a little bit more havoc up front to free up the linebackers a little bit better.
Have you seen improved play, because you're playing a couple freshmen and, in the rotation, and you're a little thin up front. Have those guys improved? Have you seen, as far as occupying blockers and allowing your linebackers to, kind of fit gaps and come free and stuff?
Well, we haven't seen a major, but we have seen some improvements out of those guys because, like you say, first game they was true freshmen. You know, never played before in college, and playing against ODU, which they played pretty good. We have seen some improvement in those guys, but we need everybody to improve. We need the linebackers to improve also. We got young guys playing back there in the secondary. We're playing different guys back there every week, you know. So we need all those guys to be on the same page and improve and get better every day and every week so that defense can get better. And they will. You'll see a difference this week.
You've done some shuffling with the secondary and just looking depth chart wise also on the line. You've kept the linebacker crew together. It's been the same 4 guys all 4 games. So just from that, we'd assume that then the linebackers have been the most consistent group out of the defense.
Yes, they have. You know, one, we don't have as many linebackers. So we can't shuffle those guys. But they've been pretty consistent and they've been healthy. You know, and so we haven't had to make a whole bunch of wholesale changes or switching positions or things of that nature because those guys have been pretty healthy. Secondary, you know, we've been beat up a little bit. You know, guys getting knocked out and things of that nature, or we just having to sub them more injuries. And then up front, you know, we just been so short and you know, we're getting guys banged up because they have to play so many snaps in those subs and things of that nature. So we just got to do what we can do up front. So we just got to, you know, play what we got and keep fighting until we can get some more.
Is Gilchrist still recovering? Or I mean, I don't see him on the 2 deep. And I know you said, I think early in the season you were hoping to have him back after, you know, maybe a few weeks or once the conference season started. What's his status? He's
back practicing. He practiced a little bit last week. But when it came down to it, he wasn't ready to play in the game yet. And it'll be a game time decision this week also. He's back practicing, though, like he did last week. And it was just a matter of him getting to like 95% and us being confident and training staff to being confident enough to put him in the game without risking another injury. So he's practicing. We just got to wait and see.